more like the quarterback. What is going on?
Yeah, the turnovers at the end of this game were definitely on the offense, and those were the reason why they lost this game. I think Lamar Jackson is an outstanding quarterback, but his accuracy against man coverage he's never been precise, accurate passer. He's never going to be. His pros make up for his cons, though, but you see it sometimes when he's pressing to make these plays. Without Rashad Bateman out there in man coverage, when they double Andrews, it seems like Lamar Jackson feels like he has to force things to happen, and sometimes it's okay not to make an enormous play every time you're on the field. But the last thing I will say is the coaching should come under question also. How can you go into a game against Wink Martindale? You can ask a stranger on the street, what do you know about Wink Martindale? He's going to blitz without not one empty set in the whole game. Empty's great against blitz because it forces the defense to declare, and it gives Lamar a lot of pre-snap information that would have been helpful at points throughout this game. But I'm not trying to take any blame off Lamar. He deserves blame for those really awful turnovers.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I mean, I think when you think about Lamar Jackson and the conversation that has been discussed for the last 2 years, really about him getting paid and those kinds of things. Where's his contract going to be? The issue is when it matters most, when you got $1:43, left on the clock and you got 3 timeouts and you just turn the ball over, you can't have another turnover. And so I think when you're watching a player like this, who we know is as dynamic as he is, and in a position that this is what you pay these guys for, is in the biggest moments, they come and continue to make plays. The fourth quarter is when those moments happen. And to show those stats, 1 touchdown, 4 INTs, again, the fumble, the strip sack that ends the game, you can't have this. And when you couple it with a defense that can't close it out, listen, this team has had a double-digit lead in all 6 games.
Right.
Double-digit lead. The only other team to do that is the Eagles. They're undefeated. This is a 3-3 football team. And so to Harbaugh's point, they are good, but being great is closing games out. They haven't been able to do that either side of the football.
Marcus, by both sides just basically agreeing that they were not going to get a deal done before the season began, both sides had to be aware. They're sort of setting themselves up for that to be a conversation all year long. And if he's playing great, the conversation is, oh, look at all the money he's making. So how do you think that is impacting all of this?
Listen, man, like, you got to find something to point to, right? Like, Lamar, I got another stat. Both sent me another stat. Mm-hmm. Lamar got 5 fourth-quarter turnovers this season. He's had 10 in his first 4 seasons. Think about that now. So something is not computing. I don't know I think this is a situation of his greatest attribute being his greatest flaw, right? Like, we laud Lamar for the playmaking ability, the unconventional ways that he's able to make plays and put his teams in great situations. We've seen this team go for 4th downs. We've seen them convert some. We've seen the heartbreaking times when they didn't. But Lamar got to look in the mirror and be like, this me. This on me. I'm costing my team opportunities to win games because I'm turning the ball over in the fourth quarter. Like, nobody got to get on TV. And I always feel like because Lamar is under such scrutiny when it comes to what is he, how good is he, he's a great quarterback in this league for what he does for his team. But he is not above reproach, and he ain't above critique. And right now, Lamar Jackson is costing the Baltimore Ravens games by turning the football over in the fourth quarter. Yeah, we can point to the defense. We can point to them giving up things. But you know what happens? I'm going to give y'all 3 examples. All right, we watched the Kansas City Chiefs game. Okay, come down. What happened in that game? Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. Josh Allen didn't. We watched the Chargers. These games, we saw the Chargers in Denver last night. We saw a special teams bloop that happened, and it gave the Chargers the win. We saw the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that we put this in comparison to because they lead with leads, have to go down and score a touchdown after Dallas made it 17-20 in order to close a game out. My point is, the NFL ain't riddled with blowouts. You can't turn the football over in the fourth quarter. That is going to cost you games more times than not. And that's what we're seeing from the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, they're a good football team. Yes, we expect them to get better, and we expect them to correct these ways. But right now, with 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter, and we're talking about a team sitting here 3-3, that is the reason why.
So, Dan, one wonders,
Yeah.
What impact might this actually have? Tangible impact on where this all winds up?
Contract-wise,
Yes.
for Lamar. Yeah, I don't think it ends up having much impact. When you look at, he'll get paid. If he's healthy and he's a starting quarterback, like the Arizona Cardinals gave Kyler Murray a massive contract. This is another spectacular yet inconsistent player who's accomplished less than Lamar has, and quite frankly opened up this offseason seeming like his team had some issues with him.
Right.
He still got the contract,
Right.
right? Lamar Jackson will get his contract and would have it by now if either he weren't insisting on full guarantees or if the Ravens weren't insisting on not giving full. That's the issue, not the money. So he'll still get it. I think what's going on here, obviously the defense has been horrendous in the fourth quarter of those losses. I wonder if it's just a spectacular but inconsistent player and a team whose margin for error just isn't there anymore. Like if he's making mistakes, they're going to be, and maybe he's pressing as a result of knowing what's going on there with the defense. I think he'll ultimately be fine. Contractually, I'm sure he'll ultimately be fine, whether it's from the Ravens or
We should be
someone
careful
else.
about calling him inconsistent because I don't think he's inconsistent. I think his accuracy can be inconsistent.
Fair.
But Lamar
Yes.
Jackson this year has been incredible with the exception of the fourth quarter.
That's
For much of his
inconsistent.
career, he's been incredible. No, I'm saying the length of his career, I would not define Lamar Jackson as an inconsistent player.
I think as an inconsistent thrower. Is
Okay, yeah.
that fair?
I think his
to say?
accuracy
I think
is that's very fair
This
to
is
put
what
on.
it
But
is.
I do think that the most important thing is Rashard Bateman. It comes down to being able to blitz Lamar and not pay for it. Right now, you blitz Lamar, and the best result that he can give you is he'll throw it to Andrews for 8 yards. If you blitz Lamar and Bateman's out there, or Duvernay playing pretty well, you can hit him for a touchdown, and teams are scared to blitz him. That's what it comes down to. That's why they're bringing in receivers right now to work out because
Quick final word, Marcus, super quick.
And Dom, your point is exactly right. I thought they should have went empty too. But here's the thing, guys, and I always bring this. We are not talking about Lamar being good anymore. We're talking about being great. And we're not comparing him to all of the other quarterbacks in the NFL. Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray ain't in the same class, okay? Based on what their careers have done.
Yep.
So the point, which is a good one. So when we talk about Lamar Jackson, we are talking about a quarterback that we think is elite. And elite quarterbacks don't throw 5 interceptions in the fourth quarter early in a season like this. That's what it boiled down to.
The best news in Baltimore is that no one has run away for that division.
Right.
We thought Cincinnati, Cleveland, all that. They're still in first place, sitting there at 3-3. So the full season remains ahead of them. Some of Harbaugh's optimism I actually do buy.
Absolutely.
As we continue, we're talking about another quarterback with a whole other set of problems. If you're looking for a quick fix for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, you may be waiting a long time. Why a turnaround in Green Bay does not figure to be immediate. That's coming up. And so is this. Sneaky Hembo versus Graziano. Here we go. What was the last Super Bowl champion that was 500 or worse through 6 games that season? That's an excellent question. Answers next. Get up on ESPN. Touchdown.
It's a breakdown in coverage. Russ spies the open man and scores a touchdown. Going to be a good night, right, guys?
Wilson
for J.C.
looking
Jack.
good. Russell 10 for his first 10. Broncos up 10-0, but then, Jeff Saturday, you love Austin Eckler.
Oh, look at that young fella in the Thunderdome, making people pay the toll. Keep driving them legs. I see your offensive lineman shoving them in. Started off early, baby.
So it's 10-7 later in the half, tied at 10. Russell with pressure in his face.
This is an outstanding throw to get it out there. It's not pretty, but with a guy on his lap to complete that pass, deep ball, Russell Wilson is the Russell Wilson we love.
47 yards to KJ Hamler, sets up a field goal. 13-10 Denver. Second half, vastly different. What you will see here is a couple of bad-looking plays.
Yeah, and this is the Russ we've come to expect given what we've seen this season. It started good, but it got ugly.
He's almost picked off there. Now here he is. They're all over him, Nate.
Yeah, he's got to be able to read this blitz, at least know it's coming and get rid of it quick to that slot receiver.
Broncos offense in the second half was non-existent. Fourth quarter tied at 13. Here comes Herbert. What happens when the ball gets tipped?
Oh, interception, turnover time, tip drill. Oh, don't turn it back over, though.
Aaron Browning, he fumbled it, but they get it back.
Get on
so
that
the
money.
Broncos would kick a field goal, go up 16-13, just over 5 minutes to go. How about Herbert, Jeff Saturday? Under pressure here, we're going to see a pass interference on the throw to Joshua Palmer. Critical call. Is it a good call?
Yeah, it's a good call. Listen, they got called the whole night. Both teams played sloppy football. You pay the price on an enormous down.
It was a festival of flags. Field goal leads it to overtime. And the way this game was played, Neek, you knew it would come down to a mistake.
Yeah, this is a sad way to end the game, but the game was kind of sad all night. So muff punt to set up an injured kick. Yeah.
That's what it was. Justin Hopkins was hurt. He limped onto the field to kick a 39-yarder. Watch him go to his knees after kicking it. They actually have to pick him up after he kicks the game winner, but it counts. Chargers get the win, 19-16. After the game, Russell Wilson, let's talk.
I think the sense of urgency has to go up now, even that much more, every day, and the season's not over. There's a lot more to do. The only thing that matters is us winning. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The only thing that matters is us winning and finding a way.
Let's be as direct as we can. If you did not stay up for this game last night, in the second half, Denver basically didn't have an offense. They went 3 and out on 4 of their 7 drives, and those are Russell Wilson's number. 3 of 11 for 15 yards. That is the fewest yards he's ever had in any half in his NFL career. Marcus Spears, I start with you. It's one thing